Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Burnie Port is set for a multi-million-dollar cash injection regardless of who wins power on the weekend, with Labor promising to plunge $25 million into the facility. Although dredging works and additional infrastructure form part of Labor's plan, a giant shiploader promised by the Liberals is not included in the opposition's deal.
A blustery day in Burnie brought a point of difference on the dock. A $25 million pledge to deepen this berth, provide more shiploading equipment and to build space for storage and stockpiling. Labor says it'll create
jobs, jobs, jobs.
Thousands of them.
Our announcement's very different from what the Liberals have announced. They've announced some great infrastructure but no jobs attached to that. What Labor wanted to do was have an investment here at the port that would create jobs.
A $40 million shiploader promised by the Liberals is a glaring omission in today's announcement, but local mining now has a bob each way.
Can we have them both?
Either project spells a bigger export capacity. Labor says its upgrades will slash shipping costs for the industry by as much as 60%.
Whatever we can do to reduce those barriers and make that more efficient and reduce the costs of getting to market is important.
Tasrail welcomed our announcement last week, as did the Tasmanian government, and we funded what we funded because that was the subject of the conversations with the Tasmanian government.
Earlier, the Liberals repeated a $4 million cash splash to upgrade Camp Banksia.
Oh, it's definitely exciting moving forward to have some great facilities and activities in particular to offer our guests whilst they stay here.
While one self-styled outsider was outside pre-poll booths.
We have a reputation for speaking our mind, not giving two hoots about political correctness. If we think something's true, we say it.
Something Latham hopes will have the major parties ducking for cover. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Fire investigators say a 39-year-old man is lucky to be alive after leaking gas caused an explosion at a Brandon property in the Central Highlands overnight. The man suffered burns to his face, hands and airway and was flown to the Royal Hobart Hospital in a serious but stable condition. Fire crews were called to the house around 9 p.m, arriving to find the blaze had taken over the home and spread to a nearby car and trailer. A mother and 2 children escaped the property uninjured. Travelling to Tasmania's west coast from Hobart has just become easier, with the first flights from the capital to Strahan taking off today. The trial service is being run by Paravion 3 times a week and supported by a $300,000 government investment. The trial will run for 2 years to determine whether there is enough demand for an ongoing service. Tasmania's clean green reputation is about to receive a boost as we make way for the future of transportation. The RACT today announced plans to build the state's first ever publicly available ultra-rapid electric vehicle charging station, which will be in place by the end of the year.
Plug in and charge in the time it takes to grab a coffee and you're on your way. That's the pitch ChargeFox is making to those interested in using or owning an electric vehicle here in Tasmania. Today announcing plans for a charging station at Campbelltown.
That station will be a 350 kilowatt charging station which is powerful enough to deliver 200 kilometres of range to an electric vehicle in about 8 minutes.
Around 250 electric cars are used here, with around 90 charging stations across the state. But there's growing calls for more to be installed at key tourist sites.
We do need to make sure that people can get around the state and not have anxiety around being able to charge their vehicle along their route.
The RACT ramping up its calls for more funding for the chargers in next week's budget.
Tasmania's reputation as a clean and green location can only be enhanced if we actually increase the infrastructure and change the usage patterns of motorists.
$450,000 worth of grants were announced earlier this year, but the Premier isn't confirming any more just yet.
We'll have more to say about all matters. I won't make any announcements with respect to that at this stage, or not.
It fits definitely with our brand. The people that are coming here that value the wilderness and the environment that we're offering would prefer probably to be using electric vehicles.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
The Launceston City Council is calling for funding for a sports and recreation hub in the city's northern suburbs before the election campaign comes to an end. The council is asking for $10 million in federal funding, along with $5 million from the state government, to build a precinct including climbing, cycling, boxing and basketball facilities. The council estimates some 300,000 people will use the centre at Newnham each year.
Now's the right time, I believe, to be able to do this sort of project. Why? Because I've worked with City Mission, I've worked in the community and understood really the needs of the northern suburbs.
We've been having lots of community conversations over many years with younger members of the community and older members as well about a facility such as this and the need within our community in the northern suburbs.
The Liberal Party says it is considering ways forward with the proposal, while Labor says to expect an announcement later this week. One of Tasmania's most awarded tourism ventures is expanding as the state continues to experience an influx of visitors. Pennycott Wilderness Journeys has today added a 16th vessel to its fleet, with environmental protection a top priority.
Celebrating the Southern Edge. This $1 million state-of-the-art catamaran is the latest addition to the Pennycott Wilderness Journeys growing fleet.
This is our 16th boat that we've built and we're very excited to add this one. It's a new style, a little bit of luxury with hewn pine and leather seats.
The 12-metre-long vessel was locally made, meeting the growing demand for one of Tasmania's pioneer tourism ventures.
It takes 22 passengers. It is primarily being built for the Tas Walking Company on the Three Capes track, but it's also going to do a tour heading down out of Port Arthur towards Cape Rao.
Last year, 1.3 million tourists flocked to Tasmania and numbers continue to rise, raising concerns our precious wilderness could suffer under this added pressure. But the company says it's doing all it can to keep its environmental impacts to a minimum.
It's 100% carbon offset and we have very low emission engines, very low wake, and very important to us that we make the world a better place.
We value our nature and we value our tourists, and the ones that are coming are deeply committed to understanding the nature that we're offering and to supporting it as well.
The Southern Edge will take its first passengers tomorrow. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
A hard-working East Devonport man is the lucky winner of Wednesday's $1 million lotto draw thanks to a dream. The man in his 40s who wishes to remain anonymous says the numbers appeared to him in a dream. He'd purchased his Division 1 winning ticket from the East Devonport News Agency.
It's fantastic to get someone like that to win a prize. I mean, he seems so down to earth. Hard-working, you couldn't ask for a better prize winner.
The news agency also seeing a significant increase in ticket sales after the win was confirmed today. Free blood pressure tests are being offered in Hobart as part of a worldwide campaign to create healthier communities. The Menzies Institute for Medical Research has set up in the State Library, offering tests, information and health advice to the public. Tasmania currently has the largest rate of high blood pressure in the nation, with about 27% of our adult population impacted.
It's the leading risk factor for mortality worldwide. So it can affect the brain, it can affect the kidneys as well. It's essential for life.
The free tests are available until the end of the month. Now a look at the day's business and finance news thanks to Tasplan, your local not-for-profit Tasmanian super fund. The Australian share market has closed lower, pulled down by the financial sector as ANZ and Macquarie trade ex-dividend. The ASX 200 index fell 13.3 points, and a short time ago the Australian dollar was trading at 69.75 US cents and 76.55 Japanese yen.
The top of the TSL ladder has turned into a three-way tussle after Glenorchy muscled its way to a gutsy win against Lauderdale on Saturday. But there will be little time to celebrate, with a resurgent Demons outfit waiting for them at North Hobart Oval this weekend.
Ben Camerick was among the Magpies' best against the Southern Bombers. He says the 11-point win is one of the best he's played in and comes as Glenorchy endures a horror run of injuries to key players.
Pretty surreal really, be written off almost going into the game, and then to win like we did, and then to go in and sing the song the way we did was an unreal feeling.
This week, the side prepares to take on an inspired North Hobart. Colin Garland booted 7 in a best-on-ground performance last Saturday as the D's came within 2 kicks of victory against North Launceston.
We have matchups, I reckon, that we can throw Josh Grant either end, and I reckon he'll be a great matchup for him, and hopefully he can nullify him.
Meanwhile, North Launceston is focusing on the positives. The Northern Bombers now sit on top of the ladder by percentage despite the scare. Its next clash is against an improving Kingborough.
We've won the game of footy, so we've done some things well, but around the footy we probably allowed North Hobart to exit the stoppage a little bit too easily, and we can't do that this week with Kieran and his foot skills.
Andrew McCarthy, 7 Tasmania News.
And the votes are in for the RACT Insurance Player of the Year in the TSL after round 7. Colin Garland's 7-goal haul for the D's has earned him 3 votes in the match against North Launceston. Ben Camrick, the clear standout in Glenorchy's win over Lauderdale. And Tyler Carter is best on ground for the Tigers in their victory over Clarence. To the leaderboard, and 5 players are tied on 6 votes. Hawaiian surfer Nathan Florence is the 2019 Red Bull Cape Fear champion after holding off a strong challenge from some of the state's best big wave surfers. But the news wasn't as good for Australian surfing royalty Mick Fanning, who failed to qualify for the final at Shipstern Bluff.
If the secret's not already out, after today, Shippies will be at the top of many surfers' to-do list. Broadcast across the globe, Mick Fanning was in the water early, but his day ended soon after.
This is so fun. It was magical out there. It wasn't as big as what everyone hoped, but look, there's still some nice barrels. Whenever you get barreled, you're stoked.
The final, a battle between American Nathan Florence and a host of Aussies, including local surfers James Holmer-Cross and Mikey Brennan.
Wow, that was worth the wait.
It wasn't enough. As the clock ticked down, it would be Florence winning over the judges on the icy southern seas.
The first comp I've ever won, first competitive win, and for it to be here and with the final and the boys, all the local legends, to surf with them, I honestly just can't believe it. I'm so psyched.
Back on dry land, and Cricket Tasmania has made 4 changes to its list, with Nick Buchanan, Liam Devlin, Aaron Summers and Hamish Kingston missing out on contracts. The squad welcomes local talents Keegan Oates, Sean Willis and Alex Pycroft into the fold, while Ian Carlisle from New South Wales and 207-centimetre quick Alex Bevilacqua from Western Australia will arrive in June.
We'll work with what we believe is the best fast bowling coach in the land with Griff, and Griff's obviously got a little bit of history with him in Perth, and just likes a lot of the traits that he can bring to the group.
On the track, Alex Peroni has endured a frustrating finish to his first Formula 3 race weekend, picking up a 10-second stop-go penalty in race 2. Stewart's unhappy with the Tasmanian after he caused a collision while re-entering the track. The drama ruining any hope of points, eventually finishing last in the 22-lap race. And in cycling, Tasmanian Will Clark continues to impress on debut at the Giro d'Italia. Clark was in the thick of the action during Stage 2, supporting the breakaway alongside teammate and King of the Mountains leader Giulio Ciccone. It's the second Grand Tour start for the Trek Segafredo rider after he competed in 2017's Vuelta a España. Andrew McCarthy, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening. Sunny over the south and east today, but cloudy and showery over the north and west. Hobart 19 degrees, Launceston and Devonport 15, Burnie 16 today. The top was 20 at Campania, Dunalley and Bruny Island, while Mount Barrow received the highest rainfall of 13 millimetres. Friendly Beaches 19 degrees, St Helens Grove and Ouse 18, Flinders Island and Smithton 17, Low Head and King Island 16 today, Strawn 15 and Lyawini 10. So of course extensive low cloud over the west and north and also through Bass Strait. Cloud at a higher level also swept over in a very brisk northwesterly airstream. Now the cloud with that cold front is also over Victoria and southeast South Australia. Tropical cyclone Anne is off the Queensland coast, mostly cloud free for the rest of the country. Tomorrow the front moves east of Tasmania as a high over the Bight extends a ridge over southern parts of the mainland, troughs to the west and east of the nation. Winds west to southwesterly at 20 to 30 knots, tending westerly and to over 35 knots in southern waters, swells up to 4 metres. A gale warning from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point has been issued, a strong wind warning from Sandy Cape to Tasman Island. Also a flood watch has been issued for the Huon River. Tuesday in Hobart, 15 and partly cloudy. Partly cloudy also for Adventure Bay on that same number, and 10 degrees for Tarraleah, maybe a shower. Launceston 16, partly cloudy as well for Devonport. Bridport an early shower, clearing 16 the top. 15 the high for Burnie, partly cloudy, showery for Strawn though, and 14 degrees, Marrawar 15. And for St Helens tomorrow, 17 the top with an early shower, mostly sunny for Swansea, and Whitemark a morning shower and 16 degrees. On Wednesday, showers over the west and far south, fine elsewhere after morning fog in the north. Possible morning fog on Thursday with another shower over the west and northwest. Fine on Friday apart from a shower over the west and far south. A sunny 26 in Perth tomorrow, partly cloudy for Adelaide and Melbourne. An early frost for Canberra, a top of 18 later. Sunny in Sydney and a shower for Brisbane. Clear in Hobart, 16 at the moment, 13 in Launceston, bit of cloud about, and 14 in Devonport. Rachel, they may have had that surfing at Shipstone Bluff a little bit early. By tomorrow, apparently it's going to be really sick there.
I don't know. I'm sure it'll be scary either way. Thank you for that, Murph. That's all your news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.